This is Boston Chris with the ETX ROCKS Show, and this is another great episode of ETX Rocks featuring MouseQuake.
Howdy, folks.
From the great state of Texas, this is the latest episode of the ETX ROCKS Show. Nestled in the piney woods of East Texas, the ETX ROCKS Show delivers the stories and songs of talented artists of all genres, all styles, from the unheralded and unheard to the legends and beyond. We bring a passion for music and a drive to go behind the curtain.
Hello, y'all. This is Ronnie.
We focus on all artists, from LA to New York, Nashville down to Texas, and everywhere in between. ETX is our location.
Hey guys, we're Black Top Mojo, and thank you.
Now, as always, it's viewers and listeners like you out there that are our biggest support for the show. If you want to contribute to the show, please do so by donating to www.paypal.me/ETXRocks. And thank you for tuning in. Wherever you're tuned in, please hit the like, follow, and or subscribe buttons. And now for another great episode of ETX Rocks. Hey everyone, Boston Chris here, and thanks for checking out the 221st episode of the ETX ROCKS Show. We are extremely excited to introduce you to a brand new special guest host for this episode, Myzta Hamblen. Now, Myzta Hamblen is a former guest of this show. He is also an award-nominated rapper hailing out of Hallsville, Texas. He recently had the opportunity to head to Dallas and sit down with one of the best producers/engineers around. Norman MouseQuake Barrett has worked with a who's who in the genres of rap and hip-hop, including Mr. Lee, David Banner, Pimp C, Bun B, Lil Wayne, Nas, Lil KeKe, ESG, and so many more it would make your head spin. In this episode, they talk about Mouse's influences, growing up around music, the differences in the different steps of making a record, and so much more. Don't miss this exclusive interview live from MouseQuake's studio in Arlington. Myzta Hamblen, take it away.
Here we go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Myzta Hamblen coming to you from Norman MouseQuake Barrett studio in Mansfield, Texas. Look, if y'all don't know who this guy is, we can't be friends anymore. Especially if you're like me, you're a student of the game, student of music. You love music, anything that's got to do with it, including producing and engineering. This man, his who's who he's worked with is like the top 10 of my playlist. Talking about UGK, and for some of you lames out there, that's Bun B and Pimp C. I know some of you say UGK and like,
smoke some.
Yeah, smoke some. Man, Lil Wayne, Hobson, Shoes McGee. Matter of fact, he was just on the phone with Shoes before we started this. Shoes wanted to come over. Sorry, Shoes, I'll get you another time, all right? Hey, man, first and foremost, thank you for having me in your home, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for coming over, man. Appreciate it.
Man, it's, again, I've known who you are for years. First time I met you was at the show in Longview that we did the Hope for the Youth 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was when I met you for the first time. Man, I'm telling you, when you came up on stage after my performance and you critiqued me, not dogged me out, I critiqued me like you was doing all the performers, dude, that meant the world to me, because I'm a man, especially you said, hey man, everything was on point, love the song, just when the hook's playing, shut up, let the hook do its job.
That's right. That's
it, let them hook them in. So man, I walked off the stage looking at everybody like, what, you can't tell me nothing.
Somebody used to do me like that too. I appreciate it when people would automatically just help me do stuff, not just try to knock me down like, if you do this, young fella, blah 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 blah.
Encouragement, build each other up, man.
Works.
Right on,
It
right
works.
on.
It works.
Love the shirt. Hip hop is bigger than the government, man.
Shout out to Erykah Badu, man.
That's nice, man. That's nice, man. I'm a huge Badu fan, man, for real. Well, look, man, I got some questions for you, man. We're gonna have some fun with this. Again, thank you for having us in your home. This will actually be aired in a couple of weeks, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun. First of all, where are you from originally?
I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah. Brick City.
Yeah.
Where your car can get stolen in 20 minutes.
Hey, on the cool, and you're not close, you're not too far from Dallas, Texas, where the same thing happens here.
Fort Worth's right around
Yeah,
the corner.
Funkytown, Stop 6, all that, boy.
Yeah, man.
Right on. So, what brought you all the way from Texas, from Jersey?
Well, I was in the Air Force for
Right
2
on.
more years, and my last duty assignment was in here. It was actually Abilene, Texas. And I have a friend here by the name of Joe Petty, I was working on his project. He said, man, just move down here. So I just drove down the road.
Just came on with it.
And I never left. Yeah, I've been here since 98.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been since 98.
So you ain't from Texas, but you got here as quick as you could.
I was here long. I've been here long enough to pay taxes and make babies. So
that's all it takes. By the way, thank you for your service. I'm a huge admirer of the man. I don't love everything about my country, but I love my country and the men and women who spend time away from their family, sacrifice their time, and sometimes even their lives.
Yeah, man.
You know, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge supporter of that. But tell me this. When did you know that music was what you wanted to do? See, like I was telling you earlier, I was 3. And, you know, it didn't matter what I was going to do. I knew it was going to be something to do with music. And, I mean, I still do. I got, you know, pay the bills. Yeah. But I still do music. So when did you have that realization?
Well, I always wanted to do some type of music thing. I did a dabble, you know, as a little kid, but when I hit 5th grade, I went to this jazz concert at a high school. No, it was a junior high school jazz concert. And there was this black kid playing drums. I was like, man, I can do that.
Yeah.
I really can do that. Kind of let it ride, you know, for 5th grade. 6th grade, I saw him again. So when the band director came over, you know, they give you these little tests to see if you're musically inclined.
All right.
And he played some rhythm with a drumstick and said, same or different, same or different. I was the only one in the class that got him all right.
Oh, wow.
So he put me on the drums. First I played trumpet, but I had braces. And was wearing my lip down.
Yeah.
So he said, no, we're going to put you on drums. And I was like, man, you know, but I already played drums, but I didn't really want to play drums like that. Put me on drums, rest is history.
That's it. You've been running at it ever since. Tell me this. How supportive were your family members with what you wanted to do?
They were real supportive. My Uncle David played for Sammy Davis Jr. for his, probably about 25, 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And he bought me my first set of drums. Well, actually, take it back. My grandmother bought me a set, but they were like a kid set.
Right.
My Uncle David bought me like a grown man set. Brought him over to the house.
The one that you're going to use for years and years and years.
Brought him over to the house, dropped him off. They used to call me Salem because I was really bad. And he said, learn how to play these, I'll see you when I come back. Well, Uncle David, that might be 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
So when he left him, I was already in the band, so I just, you know, I learned how to play them. And that was it. That was my first day.
Man, that's it. Now tell me this. How, in your opinion, how important is it to have that kind of family support when you are younger? And you get into something that you really care about? How important do you feel it is to have your family behind you in a setting like that? Because I mean, I've seen it all the time where, not a disrespect to my grandparents, but my dad was a musician. I come from generations of musicians. First Hamblens come over, settled in Tennessee. They were gospel musicians, and that was back in the 1800s. So I come from generations of musicians. Well, my dad did a lot of messing up. In and out of prison and stuff like that.
Do that.
Mm-hmm. So when he bought me a guitar for my 5th birthday, the only time I got to touch that thing is when he was in town. Other than that, my grandmother kept it put up. So that was it was a deal where I felt like, okay, she doesn't want me to do music. And it was kind of disheartening, but what she could never stop me from doing was singing. That she encouraged. And I vocally and stuff like that, I really moved on from that. But how important is it in your eyes to have that family support to really encourage you, to help you grow and stay motivated in what you want to do?
That's probably the most vital part of doing anything, even if they want you to go get a job. Mm-hmm. You know, all of my kids are, you know, my boys are musicians, my daughters are artsy-fartsy. As a matter of fact, my son's a percussion instructor at John Tyler.
Really?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, he's a percussion instructor. And my youngest son, Javon Angel, he's got projects out on iTunes and stuff. My daughters, you know, dancers, and one of my daughters a film student. So
that's awesome.
I understand, you know, the complexities. You know, when you're a creative, it's hard to nail down one thing to do because you're working on both sides of your brain. and a job just don't make you happy.
Nah.
Yeah, you just go to work, you're like, okay, man, it's almost 4, yeah, I'm gonna go get on these beats at 5.
That's it.
Yeah, but it's, you know, I support my kids because my mom and my dad supported me. My mom, and you know, my mom pawned the stuff that she worked with to buy me some drums.
Oh, wow.
So I have no excuse. You know what I'm saying? I have no excuse.
Yeah. When it comes to choir and stuff like that, that was one thing. I mean, you know, I was raised in the country. We had cows and horses and all that stuff. So I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, make sure they're taken care of, then go to school. And then I was in choir from the time I was this big all the way through high school.
Yeah.
That's one thing my grandmother made sure of, that I made it to every show, every performance, every contest, things like that.
All the old people know to keep you in certain places, man.
To keep you away from others.
Man.
Yeah, I started messing up as I got away from them, went to my mom, and then it was woo,
Ooh, yeah,
go
man.
crazy now.
I've been there.
That's awesome. Well, here's the thing, man. When I talk to people about you, and I do, you know, not bad. I don't know that much about you yet. I tell them that he's a producer and an engineer. You'd be surprised how many people don't realize that there is a difference in that.
Oh, yeah.
So I could sit here all day and try to explain it, but you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. Tell our audience, what is the difference between a producer and an engineer?
Okay, we'll go with the producer first. You can have a beat maker who's really not a producer, but he produces music. And you can have a producer. A producer is like, let's put like a gumbo pot.
Mm-hmm.
In the gumbo pot, you put all the stuff in there.
Right.
You get it all seasoned up, and then you cook it and prepare it. That's what a producer does. He takes all the elements and then he makes it into something. A producer is like a real good chef, like with gumbo. You put all the good stuff in the pot, you season it up, and you cook it to perfection, and then you give it to your customer.
Right.
That's what a producer does. Takes every element of the song, or the music, the singing, the rapping, you know, instrumentation, what we're gonna put here, arranging, and then they make it into one thing. Now, if you have a good engineer who's worth his salt, most oftentimes they are producers too. So they know what makes the song move people in certain aspects. And then if they're really good, they have really good ears too. So they can tell you if wait a minute, this sound's not gonna work right here, we need to change it to this and this. So when people hire me to do stuff, they get both jobs because I'm actually a musician first and foremost, and then I'm a pretty good engineer where I know how it's supposed to sound, what it should and what it should do. So beat maker, you know, there's a couple jobs. Beat maker, and you got the producer, then you got a mix engineer who mixes a record. Mm-hmm. Then you have a post-production engineer who actually makes all that stuff that they did glue together. Mm-hmm. And then you have a mastering engineer who takes it and equalizes and cleans up all the frequencies so it'll feel good. So if the music don't feel good, you might as well stop doing it.
Right on. And you pretty much can do it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
See?
But that's from a whole bunch of years of experience. You know?
Exactly.
I
completely understand. Yes, I completely understand. I know cats that's been doing this forever, and they're great at this part, not so great here, awesome over here, and it's just, but with time and practice, they get better and better and better.
Well, I didn't really get good at it until, you know, I'm a producer off front. I made my living off being a producer. Mm-hmm. And I used to send my songs off to the artists, and they would come back sound like, excuse my French, y'all, shit. Mm-hmm. Well, and I didn't like it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do that, because when I send it to them, I don't want to have to touch it.
Right on. So it's just boom, right,
so I learned how to do it. You know, when I was in engineering school, I didn't even want to be an engineer. I went so I could learn how to do it and make my music better. God got a funny way of doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I went in and I learned, and I actually got my first job engineering for an artist. Huh. And I was like, man, I don't even want to do this crap. But I was good at it. So I just said, well, you know what? Universe is telling me one thing, I'm telling me something else. I ain't making no money out of what I'm telling you. Yeah. So let me do what the universe is. And I just learn how to do it.
And in the end, that's man.
Yeah,
folks
that's what my name is for. Yeah, that's what everybody know me for. Yeah.
Right on, man. That's awesome. Now, you kind of just touched on my next question already, which was how you got started. You've already talked about, starting playing with the drums and stuff, and then you got talking about how you got into production, and that's, I guess, why you got into, like you said, into engineering is because you wanted it to sound the way you wanted it to sound. Like, hey, look, let me fix that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how and the why you got started doing the engineering part. I got you on that one. Now, tell me this. Not just in production, not just in engineering, but in music in general. Who were your inspirations?
Okay, I can give you 5 right off the rip. Stevie Wonder. For the melodies and the pretty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy Riley for the drums.
Yep.
Babyface for the songs.
Man, yeah.
Quincy Jones for the arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
Now this might,
phenomenal.
and this might shock you right here. Bruce Sweden. Now Bruce Sweden is not an engineer. He's not an artist or a producer. He's an engineer. He engineered Thriller.
Yeah, I know who it was.
That's who it is.
That doesn't shock me. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Thriller was, good Lord.
100 million. Yeah, Thriller is probably one of the most sonically solid records I've ever heard in my life.
The engineer, that's, a lot of people don't, they give the artist all this credit, and they give the guy who came up with the beats all this credit, but a lot of people, the ones that don't get the credit, is the engineer, because man, he's the one that's going to make it sound just crisp, clean.
He can tell you what it should and shouldn't do. Like, there's a couple engineers I'm kind of fond of. Like Bruce Sweden is one, Jean Marie Horvath is another, Lester Budd, which is Leslie Braithwaite. He makes happy.
Oh yeah,
he makes happy.
Man,
I'm really fond of them, and I study them and listen to the songs and how it works. Because I had a mentor, Geo Hall. He worked with LaFace. He did TLC, 10 million copies. We used to listen to Babyface incessantly. We'd drive from Georgia to Miami and listen to Babyface all the way there to learn, okay, why do they do this? So when we get where we're going, we're clear.
yeah.
But, I like a whole lot of musicians. There's a whole bunch of great musicians here in Dallas, like you got you got Madison Chinwah, you get all the Erica Early stuff, play anything and everything. Guys like that, y'all born. You got lyrical guys, DMC, you got the local guys that's big, October 1st, Sick With It, B Barber, Mel Q, all them boys. So.
Tell you who I used to like from here was Twisted Black.
Yeah, he got to get out of jail.
He got that 40 fed. He's gone from
there. He day for day when you go there.
Yeah,
ain't no.
He was there. He was at that cusp. I actually know somebody that did time with him in Texas prison, and they used to rap together. And he was like just phenomenal there. And everybody telling him, man, leave the streets alone.
Yeah, well, some of them can't. They can't make the distinction.
Yeah, exactly.
Streets and the reality, and then. Streets ain't in a retirement job.
So, I tell folks all the time, I wasn't always a saint. I tell folks, I talk to police officers that knew me from back in the day. And they say, so what are you up to now? Nothing, I retired. Like, what do you mean you're retired? Like, man, you either quit doing it, which is retiring, or you go to prison for life, which is retiring, or you die,
which is gone. So you got 3 bad options right off the rip, man.
Oh, man. But yeah, you definitely said some really good inspirations. I don't know, you ever heard of Ronnie Millsap?
Yes.
Okay. First album that me and 2 of my brothers did together was actually produced by and engineered by his cousin Bob Millsap. Bob actually lived in Avinger. He did all the work for Ann Murray. That's all
I know
he
who that
needed
is.
to be.
I know who that is.
Yeah. Bob Millsap taught us a lot, and that's why it got me to where I I'm like you, when I listen to a song, I'm listening not just for what's going to make me bob my head, but I'm listening for that real slight tick that's in the background and that real slight, like a whistle that's over here that just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm listening for, and to see, okay, I see why they made it that quiet.
Yeah, I try to make a song to where every time you hear something I did freaky.
Exactly.
or I leave a mistake in there on purpose.
Sometimes to see if somebody will catch it.
Well, sometimes the mistakes are the beautifulest part of the song.
True.
So, you know, if you ever hear me mix a record, sometimes I might leave 2 or 3 mistakes in it just to keep it human.
Yeah. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera.
Oh, yeah, right down the road.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, his engineer was one of my mentors, Tim Kimsey.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dimebag Darrell, he digital recording and everything sounded perfect. Sounding perfect. He hated that.
Yeah.
He wanted it to sound human.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Tim Kimsey, when he was teaching me, he would always play UGK because he mixed UGK.
Oh man!
Fast forward, I'm mixing UGK. So you know, it's kind of funny, man. It's
man,
funny.
that's cool.
Shout out to Pimp, man.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Pimp C, man. Well, we're talking about people that you've worked with. Who were some of your favorite ones?
Man, you know, I can't really say. I enjoy all of them, really.
Oh, that's what's
I'm really not. I don't really have, you know, favorites of whoever. If you come in and do the job, I forget you're famous. I don't even care about you being famous.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried about my name being attached to it, and it's got to be good.
That's
you know,
exactly
I was taught by my mentor that you're only as good as your last job. So your next job, it has to be better than the last job. So I don't try to get all caught up in, oh yeah, I did so and so. You'd never hear me say, oh man, I don't work with such and such. I mean, I don't like gloating. It don't do you any good. I just like to be good. And so when they say, you know what, man, that damn MouseQuake, oh yeah, man, that's better than me. I haven't advertised my job in 20 years.
Yeah, but at this point, you ain't got to.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah.
Me, I'm still advertising.
I just want to do as best as I can, whether it be famous or not so famous, or not famous at all.
I look at doing music a lot like you do on that aspect, to where I'll take the Brian McKnight mentality. I want to make every song that I do better than the one I did.
Oh
before.
yeah.
And as far as like everybody asks, because I mean, I rap and everybody's like, you rap, you sound like Eminem. I don't think so.
No.
Who do you sound like? I sound like
I'm
Myzta Hamblen.
yeah.
I'm Myzta Hamblen. That's what I sound like. Oh, were you trying to be like him? I'm like, nah. And I tell folks, man, I don't really care. I mean, it'd be nice to blow up and get famous, let music be my full-time gig. That'd be the best in the world to me. But, man, I take comfort in the fact that I'm making music that doesn't suck.
Yeah, man. You just have to look at it in the standpoint that if you're doing you, you're gonna be happy doing you.
Exactly.
You know, I don't really like the fame thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the respect thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you respect me, then I don't have to be famous. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can take a car and drive it in front of 7-Eleven and go through the glass. I'd be famous as hell.
Right.
I just want to be. I'd rather have respect than fame, because fame don't do anything for you. If you can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I got a whole lot of famous friends, so I live vicariously through them. Yeah, I live vicariously through them, because I can go to Walmart, they can't.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, 100%. So, and you do instrumentals as well.
Mm-hmm.
You make beats. You talked about that earlier. Now, out of all the artists you've worked with, who were some that you sat face to face with in the studio, as opposed to someone tracking the music out and sending it to you? You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to like sit and have somebody at your mic, you know, and it's another thing. Okay, like you was talking about earlier, they already record everything and then send it.
It's really rare that you're in the studio with anybody, because big box studios are so damn expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you know, some of them like $135, $145 an hour. Nobody wants to pay that.
Nowadays, ain't too many people got that.
Yeah, so what they do is they go buy the software for a couple $100, get them an interface and a good microphone, and they leave it up to us, the engineers, to fix it. You know, when we were working on the Pimp C record, Mr. Lee had all kind of people coming in. You know, some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. I'm from New Jersey, so I don't really know a whole lot of down south guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an education on who these people were. I was like, man, this is so, this is so, this is so. I was like, damn. We get in the car coming back home. I'm like, man, so who was that? Who was that? They just all bust out laughing. But you know, I like working with the local cats, man. and the young cats. Young people are like one tick away from being crazy. So that makes it good for you. Old guys always, oh man, I don't like the new stuff. I don't have to like it. But if it does something for me, and it can take me somewhere else, with all means, I'm with it.
Yeah, that's
it. You know, I've been in the room with a lot of famous folks, but, you know, I don't even care about being famous. I'm trying to get paid.
Yeah, amen,
you know, because if they say I'm good, then they're going to tell the next person. So that's how it goes.
Right on. Now, you, of course, you know, you've worked with some people that I'm just huge fans of, UGK, all day long. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody, I mean, lyrically and his wordplay, the way he arranges his songs, Bun B to me is one of the strongest lyricists out there.
Yeah, I work with them vicariously. When we were doing the Pimp C record, you know, Pimp's been dead for some years.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lee had all the verses. I never even walked in the room with Bun.
Oh wow!
I just did what I was supposed to do, and listening to Pimp on the verses and stuff. I got a world-class education on how really good they are.
Really?
For one, I'm from New Jersey. I didn't know anything about Pimp C until he did the Jay-Z record.
Yeah.
We listened.
Big Pimp.
Yeah, we listened to that. You know, once Mr. Lee told us the story about how Pimp did the record, it was hilarious. So I just started researching because I wanted to know what I was doing, and I didn't want to taint the guy's legacy.
Right.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm doing some bullshit.
Exactly.
So, you know, and Mr. Lee was right there with me the whole time. Bun can put words in tight spaces.
Yeah.
And they still sound concise. Pimp could talk shit and make you believe it. Because he was really telling you who he was.
Yeah.
You know, if he say, I don't want to hear that, he didn't want to hear it.
That's it.
You know, and a lot of people are like that, man. When you're working with the records and you hear them talking, you know, you see them here, you know, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. But when you see them in their element and they just disappear into the element. And all that other stuff outside is gone. You be like, man, this guy's really something else. Yeah, man.
I want to hear the story about how Pimp C did the Jay-Z song Big Pimpin'.
Okay, as Mr. Lee,
because that's like that's a classic, man.
As Mr. Lee told me verbatim, they wanted him to get on the track. Bun wanted to do it. Pimp didn't want to do it. Pimp said, yeah. So they sent the song to the studio. Pimp said, who's sending me this trash can ass beat, right? I don't want to do it. So they had to convince him to do it. He said, you know, I'm going to go in the studio and I'm going to rap the country shit I can rap. Right. Legend, and this is the truth. He freestyled it.
Really?
Yeah, he freestyled that. Bun said he was trying to out-rap Jay-Z with wordplay in 16, 18 bars. Pimp did it in 8.
Yeah, Pimp's verse is short.
Yeah, it was that. What you know about them Texas boys?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, this dude was amazing. And you know, after working on the record, you could hear that he was really a smart cat.
Yeah,
he's really smart, and something in him was like he had a light in him that he could just pick up stuff just by listening. You know, and I'm around Mr. Lee and all them boys, and they telling me stories, and you learn. It's like, man, this dude was something else.
Well, see, Toe Down told me, no, Toe Down is from down in Houston. He told me a story about when he met Pimp C. He was going to Pimp C's mama's house to meet him, and Pimp ended up being like 2 hours late.
That's typical.
Kept hollering, hey, telling his mama, hey, tell him I'm on the way. Call him, say, hey, I'm on my way. Hey, man, I'm physically be there. Hey, man, then told him, he goes, man, do me a favor, Toe. Go up to my bedroom and look. I think it's laying on the CD player or on the nightstand right by my bed. And Toe Down went up there and looked, and he seen it laying on top of the CD player was the case to Toe Down's album that he did. And when Pimp C got there, he goes, man, I'm going to let you know I've just about worn that CD out. Because he was, and to me, if I got somebody like Pimp telling me something like that,
oh yeah,
that he just become a fan of my work, So I mean, he was from what Toe Downs told me and other cats I've talked to that's just met him in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't no pretend hustler or nothing like that, man. That he was just really, he spoke what was on his mind. He's a real down to earth cat. You know, he ain't like some of these other cats that got a name and blew up and got the head all big. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah, that gets you in trouble every time.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say no names about some folks I heard, but Mike Jones.
I was playing ball with Mike Jones one day.
Yeah.
Up at Jay Oliver's studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's see. We've talked about how when at the beginning when you critiqued me during the Hope for the Youth deal, that was awesome, and you pretty much answered my question. I was going to ask how important is it for someone who's been in the industry as long as you have. How important was it to get behind some of these local artists and younger artists and give them instruction? And you answered that one, man. It's very important. You know what I'm saying?
It's probably more important than anything because, you know, one thing young guys got to realize that old fools used to be young fools.
That's
too.
it.
So if an older guy is telling you something, he's not telling you to tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling you because he sees you walking down the experience road that he went down. I have a whole bunch. You know, I got a bunch of mentors. I call right now. I'm 51 and I got some that's in their 80s. I get on the phone in a minute. Hey, why am I doing this? Blah blah blah, and they tell me.
Yeah.
And I respect it enough to listen. Because, you know, old people ain't really got to tell you a damn thing.
They ain't got to tell you nothing.
They can watch you fall down and break all your teeth out. You know, but, you know, that's just one of the biggest things, man. These young, you know, I used to hear my older people telling me that, but you got to value experience, man. You don't get old by not being smart.
No.
Yeah. You don't age being dumb.
My dad told me a long time ago, he said, watch out messing with an older cat. They older for a reason.
Yeah,
they live through some stuff. They smart and they might hurt you.
Yeah, they smart. Short trigger, man.
Yeah.
Short trigger.
Awesome. So how long did you say you and your wife been married now?
About 7-8 years.
Wow. So she sat on a lot of sessions like this and heard.
Yeah, that's what made our first date was a studio session. Yeah, our first date was a studio session. We went 8, and I said, "Well, I gotta go to the studio." She's like, "You ain't gotta go to no damn studio." I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Come on, I showed you.
And I took her, and we've been together ever since.
That's cool, man. 'Cause I mean, I follow you on Facebook, and I remember wasn't too long ago you it might have been on y'all's anniversary, but you posted a picture of you and her at the studio. You're working on a song, and you're talking about, hey, appreciate you sticking by me with all these years, listening to one clip 50 million times.
Yeah, she's sitting right there. Yeah,
man,
she's sitting right there.
That's awesome, man.
Get one of them, boy. You winning.
Hey, I got one. Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
You winning, man. You are winning.
I got one. She'll listen, and my wife don't hold her tongue either. She say, I don't like that.
Oh, yeah, I get that all the time. I get that all the time. Yeah.
You should do it this way. You should do this. She said, okay, baby.
She'll come out like, I don't know if you like, that one ain't good. Okay, I could go somewhere else.
Yeah,
she's the reason I did the female cipher. My wife was. She wanted
really?
She wanted me. She had been bothering me for maybe 2 years to do a cipher with all females, a song with all females. So I did it for my birthday, and we did it, and the damn thing had 120,000 views before the weekend was over.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I got a cipher I'm gonna be on real soon. Actually, they're videoing.
Yeah.
Oh. So you was talking about your wife and having her in your corner. How important is it to have that kind of support? In
the music business, man, you gotta have, you know, if your wife ain't with it, man,
it's gonna be an uphill battle.
It ain't no uphill battle. The battle is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, women are a little bit more clairvoyant than men are. Mm-hmm. They see things that we don't necessarily pay attention to. And if you got one that's gonna be there with you and say, you know what, this don't look too good, and you smart enough to like, wait a minute, she's telling me this for a reason, you're gonna lose every time. You know, I don't know how dudes don't incorporate their wives in their business.
Yeah.
Because if she knows where the money's coming from, and she knows what the work is behind the money, she can give you no problems.
Yeah, I try to include mine when I'm listening to music or when I'm recording somebody. Because I'm like you, I do a lot of work from the home, but I'm on the music end of it. And I have them in my booth, and I'll be like, hey, baby, listen to this. Especially if they're phenomenal, I'm like, and I'm just really feeling it. I'm like, hey, listen to this. And let her check it out, and she'll say, well, like if they've got some backup vocals on it. She'll say, you should bring them backups out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, I'm sitting right here with my mixers right here, my monitor speakers here, my other speakers here. Done had my Beats by Dre headphones on. I'm thinking I'm hearing everything. But she's like, try it. And I'm like, I'll turn it up a little bit. And then I'll be like, damn, she was right.
Yeah, man.
Or then there'll be times I'll turn it up and she'll go, oh, no, never mind. Go back.
It's crazy, man. You got to, I don't know, the mind would tell you one thing. And then the heart will tell you something else. And 9 times out of 10, the heart overrules the mind. Yeah. So you got to have somebody who's, you know, want to tell you when you're good and tell you when you suck. Yeah. And you have to deal with it. I don't have a problem with it. You know, I've never had an ego problem. My dad didn't play that. My mom didn't play that. So I was accustomed to it. Yeah. Got to have a good chick, man.
Okay, so we talked earlier about your stint in the military. And again, thank you for your service.
Thanks, man. I still wear that thing.
Yeah, I seen here not too long ago, you were even working on this back then while you were in the military.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm talking about, one buddy of yours like, man, I almost got in trouble. You had another buddy of yours talking about how you'd wake him up 2 a.m. Hey, listen.
Oh yeah.
Listen to this. Tell me what this sounds like. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Daryl Hunt. Yeah, man, when I was in the military, you know, I was in a mobile area report unit, MAPS unit, combat control unit. And we would go all over the place and make a lot of money. So my money was basically spent on studio equipment. And we were stationed at NASA for about 2 or 3 months, and I took the government credit card and bought a keyboard. Right, and
still got that mug.
Right here,
I was looking at that a minute ago. I'm like, wow, that's an old disc. That's an old disc drive that's on that mug.
Yeah, I actually I bought a keyboard with the government credit card, the government Diners Club card, and one of my chief master sergeant said, "Boy, your ass is going to jail. Let me give you this money so you can pay this damn card off." And I had it in my bed with me in the dorm at NASA playing the keyboard. Yeah, it was hilarious.
That's awesome, man. So, and with going off of that, you had to find time to do all that.
Yeah, well, luckily our job was you know, if we were on base, we had regular shift time, 6:30. Well, 5:30 to 2:30, or 2:30 to 11. Well, I had time in between that. But when we were on the road, traveling all over the place, we would work and then we would be off. So we didn't have no set hours. If we had to do 20 airplanes that day, well, once we did the 20 airplanes, we was done for the day. So I was in the room. I carried a studio in the room with me.
Everywhere you went.
I went everywhere. I didn't take any speakers. I'd have a keyboard, my drum machine, my 4-track cassette deck, and some headphones.
You carried it everywhere.
I took it everywhere. So I would have my gear bag and then that. Only thing I worried about was having a whole lot of clean underwear and socks. And my music stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, my music stuff.
That's cool, man.
Shout out to Daryl Hunt, too, for me keeping you up all the nights.
Yeah, he's the one that commented on it. I thought that was funny. I laughed. My wife was like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, look. She looked down at that. She goes, I know the feeling.
Yeah, he was. It's like, dude, he actually bought me some green lights to put in the room so I didn't keep him up.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wore Daryl out.
God, that's great. Well, tell me something. You've been doing this for a long time, okay? So going off of that, what's some of the changes that you've seen in, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, the technology wise as far as the actual process? I mean, we touched on before we started the interview on reel to reel or analog and stuff like that. What some of the other, like, and you was talking about, you know, some beat studios, $120 something an hour.
Yeah.
And now people are just buying a couple of $100 worth of software and doing it at home. What's some of the other like innovations like the Chaotica eyeball?
Oh yeah.
Microphones and stuff like that has changed.
The advent of recording software makes it so easy for a pro, not for an amateur. You can do a lot of amazing stuff inside a computer, you know, that you wouldn't expect to be able to do anywhere else. And I just get a kick out of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one. Like when we started recording, first time we recorded was with Bob Millsap.
And them tape decks ain't no pump, man.
No, and then we actually helped him build onto his studio. He contracted us as builders because we all worked together in a construction company. And then just looking at how we had to do it then, and this was 98 when we first put out our first album together. And then you look at now here, this 2018, and everything Bob did with all this equipment. I've got 2 mixers and a computer.
That's it. That's all you need.
And I mean my microphone and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't start using computers until, let me see. The first place I saw a computer in the studio was I was in Oakland, California, at a studio by an old guy named Mr. Joe. He used to record Tupac there and Digital Underground and the Tonys. I saw him running a computer in his studio. Running the studio with the computer. Freaked me out.
Huh.
This is like 1989. And fast forward to like 95, when I was working with my mentor, Geo Hall, his whole studio was ran by 2 computers. So I had to go from using tape, learning how to cut tape, patch everything up to like, okay, I can do it right here in this box.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to get up.
You ain't got a mess in the floor to clean up, nothing.
And my brother, Retta, he bought me Fruity Loops and PC. Because I said, man, I am never messing with computers. It take too much time. They fail, blah, 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 blah. He bought me one for my birthday. So I had to learn how to use it. Because if you got it there, I got to learn to use it. And I learned how to use it. So I went from that to digital recording. And then now, I mean, I can actually take my Mac Mini on the road with me, my whole setup.
Yeah, right there.
All I need is a keyboard and a monitor. And I can do everything right there. So, the advent of software, a lot of old cats don't like to mess with it, but I do. You know, I'm smart enough to know that it's going to change with or without me. So
right, you show right there.
I probably want to change with it. You know, so my music. So let's see what we got.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah, do your thing. Go ahead. And do your thing. Please stop crying. Go ahead. And do your thing. Please stop crying. Go ahead. And do your thing. Please stop crying for me. Go ahead. And do your thing. Please stop crying for me. Just started off high like it. Want you to drop down and get your drop down and get your drop down and get your heel on. I don't know how you got them J's on. Depend on me and I will always sip your dresser for you in the back. Make up an excuse just to look at that. All in boot camp, getting it down pat. Push you down with doggy on a yoga mat. You can forehead, let me stress that. Grip you by your waist like a panty dress. Standing up against the wall.
Oh, that's enough.
Man, that's nice, homie.
Shout out to Ace McCoy. He did the original.
Hey, Ace McCoy out of Tyler.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually got a homeboy of mine that's want me on a beat with him that's on a song with him that Ace McCoy did the beat for.
Oh yeah, I mix a lot of Ace's stuff too. So,
Yeah. Well, man, hey, MouseQuake, again, brother, it's been an honor. Thank you for having me. I'm still blown away, you know what I'm saying? I'm like starstruck sitting here, you know what I'm saying? I know that ain't no big thing to you, but again, I know who you are. But man, we everybody from the ETX ROCKS Show, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you again for letting us into your home, letting us into your studio. Now I'm gonna let you get back to it. You said you had a late night and you wanted to go to bed.
Yeah, man. Hung out with some legends and they kept me up all night.
DOC.
Kept me up all night.
All right, real quick before we go, I want you to look at the camera and say ETX Rocks.
ETX Rocks. Peace.
Howdy folks, this is Aaron Watson.
This is Bree Bagwell.
This is Jake. And this is Walter from Rocky Queen.
This is Curtis Grimes, Monty Pittman.
This is Doug Supernon.
I'm Heather Little.
This is Rob Redwan.
Ho! Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hey guys, I'm Katie Lynn, and make sure to tune in to ETX Rocks with
Boston Chris.
Hello, y'all. This is Ronnie Millsap, and thanks for tuning in to the ETX ROCKS Show.
Tough guy. Ho!
Hey guys, we're Blacktop Mojo, and thank you for tuning in to ETX Rocks.